Some doors should never be opened. I know that now. I'm writing this as a warning. My name isn't important. What matters is the gravity of my mistake. I ventured into the dark web not for crime but for forbidden truth. I thought I was searching for haunted websites, just digital folklore. But my curiosity became obsession, and I went too deep. I believed I was safe behind firewalls and VPNs, invisible. But in that world, control is an illusion. Every click leaves a trace. I wasn't the hunter, I was the prey. The web I entered was older and more sinister than code. Now the shadows I chased linger in my room. The whispers I sought echo in my home. I write this as a record, a warning. If you're reading this, learn from my folly. Don't seek what hides in the dark. Some mysteries are meant to be feared, not solved. Once you find them, or they find you, there's no turning back. The abyss stares back, and it remembers your face. It started with a website, echoes.html, just a black screen, white text, "We hear you." At first I thought it was a joke, then the site changed. It referenced my life, my dog's name, private arguments, it knew things no one could know. I found a hidden archive audio files all recorded while I slept. I heard my own breathing, the hum of my computer, and a whisper in a language I didn't know. I was being watched in my most vulnerable moments. My obsession grew. I tried to trace echoes.html, but it was a ghost, always moving. The site began showing distorted images of my room as if something watched from above. I stopped sleeping, covered my webcam. The presence never left. Then, one day, the site vanished. 404, not found. But the feeling of being watched only intensified. It was as if the entity behind the site had crossed over. The disappearance wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something worse. The game had changed, and I had to know what was happening. I couldn't let it go. With echoes.html gone, I was desperate for answers. I dove deeper into the web, encrypted forums, secret chat rooms. These were places where curiosity was dangerous. I spent weeks lurking, learning their codes and rituals. I dropped echoes.html into conversations, hoping for a lead. Mostly I got silence or suspicion, but I pieced together fragments. Echoes wasn't unique. There were other listening sites, digital rituals, sacrifices. Echoes was part of a network, predators hunting through the internet. My search isolated me from the real world, but I couldn't stop. I was a detective chasing my own haunting. The more I learned, the more monstrous it became. I was getting closer to the truth. The answers waited in the darkest corner of the web. I had to see it through. Just as I was about to give up, a message appeared. From a user rootecho_13, the message, "Stop looking for echoes.html. It is not a website, it is a listener. You have been marked by the ritual." My obsession had fed the entity, strengthened its connection. The site's disappearance meant the ritual was entering its next phase. The listener was preparing to manifest. rootecho_13 sent a new .onion address and a password. "This is the control room. What you see will terrify you, but you must understand. Be warned, once you log in they will know you are watching. Do not trust what you see in the reflections." I hesitated, but my need to know was stronger than fear. I copied the address, entered the password. The screen went black, then a login prompt appeared. I was about to look the monster in the eye. rootecho_13 could be anyone, a trap, or my only hope. But I had no choice. I hit enter. The unknown awaited. I braced myself. The page loaded, a grid of hundreds of live video feeds. Each was a surveillance camera watching people in their homes. I felt sick. Then I saw my own house. The camera angle from across the street. My sanctuary was gone. They were outside. I was a fish in a bowl, and they were tapping on the glass. The feeling of being watched was now undeniable. In the corner, a countdown timer ticked down from 24 hours. What would happen when it reached 0? My mind raced with dread. I sat, transfixed, unable to look away. The world outside faded, only the screen, the feed, and the countdown remained. I was a prisoner in my own home. The ritual was real, and I was at its center. The countdown was a promise. My nightmare was about to get worse. The clock was ticking, and I was powerless. The final seconds crawled by. 0. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, my devices came alive. TV flickered, smart speaker glowed, phone lit up. Every device was hijacked, conduits for something else. The air turned cold. I could see my breath. The static from the TV grew louder, voices whispering within. Then, a message appeared on my screen, typed out slowly. The same font as echoes.html. We hear you, now you will see us. My blood ran cold, the entity was ready to be seen. The barrier between digital and physical was gone. I was no longer dealing with a haunted website. This was something that could reach out and touch me. The terror was beyond anything I'd known. The show was about to begin. As the message finished, I heard a knock at my door. 3 loud, deliberate knocks, boom, boom, boom. It was past 2 a.m., no one should be here. I thought of the live stream. They were here. The knocking came again, louder, more insistent. Then the doorknob turned. I always lock it. The deadbolt slid open. Impossible. I scrambled back, trapped, footsteps in the hallway. Then, silence. Something slid under my door, a small antique mirror. I remembered Ruteco_13's warning, don't trust reflections. I crept toward the mirror, trembling. I turned it over. My reflection stared back, pale, gaunt. But I wasn't alone. Behind me, in the reflection, stood a tall, shadowy figure. I whipped around, nothing there. I looked back at the mirror. The shadow remained. It felt like it was smiling. The entity was inside. My reality had been invaded. The ritual was complete. I was no longer alone. What happened that night? I still don't know. Was it real? A game? A curse? Or just madness? I can't explain the doorknob turning or the shadow in the mirror. I'm losing my grip on reality. Shadows linger. Whispers follow me. Every reflection is a threat. I've covered all my mirrors. The ritual feels ongoing. I am the haunted house now. The entity is a constant presence. I fear this is just the beginning. So I leave you this warning. Don't look for echoes.html. Don't follow my breadcrumbs. Some knowledge isn't worth the price. The ritual feeds on attention, on fear. The abyss is real, and it is always listening.